Unrecognizable by Missy Gordon. Life and time. Sometimes life throws a wrench in things, and by things, I mean plans. You know how people say life happens while you're busy making other plans? It's something like that. The more I plan, the less life works out as I thought. Learning to rest in the arms of life is like learning to rest in a bird's nest, tactically placed on the highest branch of all, supported by nothing but a tall, skinny tree. The winds come and blow against the feeble tree's trunk, and the branches sway, threatening to snap. Yet the birds are safe and sound. We are the birds. Life is like the mother bird that encourages the baby birds to fly, even though they're scared. Life is not against us, even though it feels that way sometimes. Life is much older and wiser than us in years and experience. She holds hands with time, and time holds hands with us, creating a circle. Life and time work together, planning and plotting the stops along the road trip of our lives before we even arrived on planet Earth. Let's stop at Doll's Head Trail in Georgia. These two, life and time, could be compared to a mother and a father, but like a stubborn mule, we kick against the pricks of their guidance. Kicking against the pricks is an ancient idiom that basically implies fighting against one's fate, therefore getting hurt in the process. A prick was a stick covered in spikes, used to nudge stubborn animals to move. I am that animal. Or I was, but am getting better. Maybe. Old versus new. Change is never pleasant. Why is that? Especially if that change is for the better. I ran and ran and ran until I collapsed, and still I continued to crawl even after hitting the ground in exhaustion. I was running from fate, the pricks of life and time, like I was running for my life. But I didn't know that's what I was doing, and I'm probably still doing now. Kyle Cease talks about growing into the higher self in a similar way. He explains that we resist our own evolution, even if it's good, because if we evolve, the old self dies. The old self is fighting to stay alive. The old habits, people, places, and perspectives, crying out, grabbing us by the ankles, hoping their haunting screams will persuade us to turn back to that familiar place of comfort. Have you ever heard the call of an elk? If you were hiking in the woods at dusk and you heard the call of an elk without knowing what it was, you may be terrified. The same goes for change, because we don't know what we're hearing. We're typically afraid of change because we assume it's bad or dangerous. But does unknown automatically mean bad? Unrecognizable. Post-change, my own reflection looking back at me in the bathroom mirror rocked me to my core. I felt like I didn't recognize myself. Again. This phenomenon has happened again and again, and it's only later that the transformation seems like a good thing. We are here on this planet to become unrecognizable again and again and again. We are here to go from one form to another, like a caterpillar to a butterfly or a tadpole to a frog. I used to bring tadpoles home from a little pond near my house when I was growing up. When did we stop seeing the wonder of the world? Maybe change wouldn't feel so scary if we weren't so serious all the time. I'm talking to myself. So what? We go from tadpole to frog. Why is that so bad? The in-between. During metamorphosis, there are steps in between. Usually when we transform, we think about the beginning of the transformation, tadpole, and then the end, frog. But what about all those little steps in the middle? Oftentimes we turn around and walk back to where we started from when the transformation is almost complete. Why do we do this? Maybe it's because we forget about the other less flashy parts of the transformation and confuse this lull or bridge with going the wrong direction. Maybe we begin feeling like we were wrong, like we were foolish to think we were transforming, and we're silly to think it was even possible to begin with. The stages. Don't turn back, know the stages. There are 4 stages to a frog's metamorphosis. 1, the egg. 2, tadpole. 3, froglet. And 4, frog. Wait, the egg is step 1? We forgot about the preface, the origin story. The egg is the most important part. Without the egg, we have nothing. Many of us are in the egg stage right now, gestating, preparing to manifest lasting change and transformation. You know how people say, which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like that. We are all potential chickens, but if we never hatch, we will never live. Some of us are fine with staying inside the egg. It's cold out there. Who knows what could eat me, the egg says. Then there are those who think they're a chicken, but they're actually an egg. And then others who have been fully formed all along, but don't give themselves enough credit. Usually it's spiritual folk who have this kind of imposter syndrome. You're already a chicken, damn it. Stop looking to eggs to tell you you're a chicken. They wouldn't know a chicken if it hit them in the face. Some say there are too many metaphors in this essay, but I say never enough. They must be egg people who think they're chickens. Challenging the challenger. There is a challenger within us all, and the challengers outside of us simply confirm the challenger within. Why are you doing that? Why are you wearing that? Why are you saying that? Why are you like that? We criticize ourselves at our most critical moment, teeter-tottering on the edge of glory, only seconds away from true freedom. I think I'll move away from the cliff. That seems like the logical thing to do. But that's the challenger. Never believe the challenger. It lives only to challenge. You could be on the brink of curing cancer and the challenger will ask, "Are you sure you really want to do this?" The challenger is always a challenge. So learn to challenge. Dare to challenge the challenger. Why am I doing that? Because I want to. Why am I wearing that? Because I like it. Why am I saying that? Because I think it's funny. Why am I like this? Why are you like that? Even Jesus answered questions with questions. Hit the challenger with political word salad. How else do you think these guys become president or convince billionaires to fund their startups? The first step to true evolution is learning how to play the game without actually having to play the game at all. Use the game against the game. Challenger against challenger. The old you versus the new you. The challenger is simply a program of the mind that is fixed. The beauty is, this program can be rewritten. Why are you like that? Why are you like that? This challenges the challenger within, aka the old self, and gives you about 0.3 seconds of wiggle room to quickly imprint the information of the new self. These tiny rebellious statements against the program help solidify the new self, blasting you past the neural pathways of the mind that were already formed. You don't need a 10-point argument to outsmart the system. You simply need to challenge the challenger with the new data again and again until the new pathways are formed. 0.3 seconds is all you need to hit that finish line before the old you catches up. New you versus old you. Challenger versus challenger. Outsmart the old you so the new you can emerge. Checkmate. Synecdoche. There's a quote from the movie Synecdoche, New York that has always stuck with me. Knowing that you don't know is the first and most essential step to knowing, you know? A synecdoche is when you use a part of the whole to explain the whole, like nice wheels when referring to a car. A car consists of many other parts. It's not just wheels. That's an example of a synecdoche. In the same way, one human life is an example of a synecdoche, a part, one person, that refers to the whole, all of humankind. And a step further, the true whole being, God. Going back to the quote, the first step to knowing is knowing that you don't know. Blind faith, if you will. Trusting the universe. Diving headfirst into the unknown with reckless abandon. Not knowing is the first step to actually knowing. If we continue to pretend like we know, we will never know. We stay in the egg. But the moment we admit that we don't know, that's the first step to actually finding the answer. Becoming unrecognizable is the first of many steps that lead to actually getting to know yourself. And in turn, getting to know others. And as a whole, getting to know God.